everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and today I have with me a gentleman by the name of Don Hendrix. He is a dad, an author, entrepreneur, and on this crazy world of social media, he is what you call a positive influencer, and I so appreciate that. But first and foremost, Mr. Hendrix, welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate the time.
Ms. Reid, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for having me this afternoon.
I'm looking forward to it. As I was preparing for today's show, I was reading through your books and the blurbs about them, and I was like, I got some questions for this man. I can't wait to dig in to some of the books, but in particular. One of the books that I do want to discuss is this one, Pivot into Your Passionate Relationship. Mm-hmm. Now, you and I are generations apart. Okay?
No, maybe not. Maybe
not. Generations apart.
Look at David 30.
Yeah, I'm claiming mine. We are 2 decades apart. So, but one of the things I try to do is understand that change transpires. It's going to happen. Things evolve. But there's one particular issue that I've been kind of sitting in the corner, in the cut, watching, and I'm like, I don't think this is really better. And it's this concept in the dating world of, I got options, and it's men and women. It's not just the fellas, you know. I got options. I don't really need to be tied down. I got options. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are going to end up being more unhappy than you are happy. And you address this matter in this book, this issue of serial dating and why it's not really a positive thing to just be out here, you know, back in the day for men, it used to be sowing your oats or whatever. So if you can, because you are in the younger generation where this philosophy has blossomed, first and foremost, what is the argument for I got options? Mm-hmm. Make it make sense for what you hear your friends say.
Yeah, I have an abundance of friends who say those exact words. You know, I have options, or I'm going to keep my options open. But just as the front of the book says, you know, polyamorous relationships aren't fun anymore. Mm-hmm. It's really stressful. Down the road, they just do not work whatsoever, because you can't really build a home with somebody if you're steady playing house with multiple. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is, you got to build a relationship with someone, right? You got to learn their likes, their dislikes, their pet peeves. You know, what makes them tick. You know, what makes them, you know, love you even more. And you can't really focus on those innuendos, those specific things, if you're focused on 20 other people. You know what I mean? Because like, you may forget what Michelle likes. You may think, oh, that's what Brianne likes. You know, or you had a conversation with Shelly. You know what I mean? But it was really a conversation we had with Kelly. You know, so in the mind of the man, like, you have your options open, yes. And as like young men, we're taught that's a good thing. We're taught that having all these options, all these women, all these girls, that's what a man does. And that's what he's supposed to be like. You know, we get it from some of us, we get it from our dads, we get it from people from our families, you know, even sometimes even get it from the deacons, but that's a whole conversation. We're not going to get into that right now, but even the music is a big on that as well. So you can't blame the men 100%. Well, you can't blame the boys 100%, I'll say, but the men, you can blame them 100%, because you cannot listen to what the rappers are saying, you know, or what this guy's doing or what that guy's doing. If you really want to find your queen, you have to approach her and act like a king first and foremost. And that starts with just having that one single lady.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I can't really put it all on the younger kids, because I know people in their 40s, 50s, you know, out here just, you know, in and out of relationships, you know, and I'm like, aren't you exhausted? Isn't that tiring? Like, you know, 6 months, this is it. This is the one. And like, what happened? Oh, it didn't work out. And then like 2 months later, they're in another relationship. I'm like, I just think it's so tiring, because it's a drain on number one resource is time and energy. You can't get that back. And then you've got for if you're talking traditional dating, for guys, it's a lot of money invested, like I've spent all this money on this one that didn't work. Now I got to drain some more money on this one. It's a exhaustive process.
It's
And
financial,
yes,
physically, yeah, in every aspect.
and then what you're doing to your psyche, I liken it to a car. Like you put it on the road, it gets a ding, and then you bring it back, and then it gets another ding, and pretty soon you've got this car with all these dings in it. And it's like,
right.
Who wants to take that home and fix that up?
Right.
But for you, this mindset of maybe serial dating isn't the best. Is that something you evolved into, or is it something that you always had with you?
Oh, well, I once was a young boy, and I was one of those guys that would have, a multitude of women, would want to date around, things of that nature. But it was at one moment, I had an ex I'll say about 3-4 years ago, broke up with her, and I knew I needed to heal. I knew I needed to do the work. So I stopped dating. I stopped dating for about 2 years, 2.5 years, really started researching stuff. And really started, learning myself more, and reinventing myself before I went out and started dating again. So, like I said, I once started as that young boy dating around, but then eventually, as I got older, I specifically said, if I'm going to date, I'm going to be dating one person at a time. I'm going to really learn them. They can learn me, and then we can move forward as we do. Because ships will fall what they may, obviously, with the relationships and everything. But it is something that I developed and grew into as time went on. And then, like you said, the financially exhausting part, that was one part of it. And with me, I'd rather spend that money going to therapy, going to therapy and really, really investing in myself, so then I can push that out in abundance to whoever I'm going to be with. So.
Wonderful. I like that. So my question to you is, post Don Hendrix, when you were serial dating, I guess it's a two-part question. What type of woman were you looking for, the old Don versus after you took the time off, did self-evaluation, and then what became the type of woman that you now sought after you healed?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say before, Don Hendrix, I was high school athlete. I went to college, played basketball. I'm not going to use the word jock, but in the lack of a word, that was me. So, for me, I was looking for women that could kind of match my physical caliber, that had the body, that they get to sports, things of that nature. So it was really just more so physical for me. The looks, the physique, everything like that. It necessarily didn't matter how smart they were, how stimulating the conversation was or lack thereof. It could just be all fun and games. It could just be a lot of playing around, just having fun with one another, having fun with two good looking people having fun. That's really what I wanted back then. Now it's more so mentally first, because like for men, like a lot of the time, like we love or lust physically, and then we go mentally and emotionally. For women, it's the other way around. They want to love mentally, emotionally first, and then the physical aspect comes, after that. So I kind of adapted to that, to that ideology, and it was really a mental thing now. I want to have a good conversation. I want to be able to talk to you about more than Cardi B being pregnant, or pop culture. Pop culture is fine. We can talk about, Cardi B or Offset, cheating on her. We can talk about that, but let that go into a different conversation. Okay, so why did he cheat? What is his thinking behind that? Let the conversation build up to something a little more stimulating. So like I said, it was physical, pre Don Hendrix, but now, the more mature Don, it's more so mental.
Okay. Now, to add on to this, now that you've evolved into this place, you're also a father now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, because everybody has to go through their own journey, we have peer pressure and everything, but you are now a father who has went through this. As your young one is evolving into his manhood, what are some of the things you're going to say to him or to guide him so he doesn't have to bump into the same brick wall that you possibly did?
Yeah, absolutely. Around the time that I took my little break was around the time that he was born. Oh. So I wanted to better myself as a man, as a whole, when he was born. I finished college. Like I said, I got more in depth with myself and learned more of myself and just wanted to be the best version of myself for him. So now as he's growing up, I can teach him some things to not do or some things to do. One thing specifically is just how to speak to a woman. Doesn't matter if she's your girlfriend, or if she's your cousin, sister, mom, even the waitress at a restaurant, just a matter of how to speak to a woman, because that goes a long way, because communication is key. And, if you can't communicate the right way, she's not going to comprehend it the right way. Mm-hmm. So just that specifically, just respect and, treat her like royalty, as if, you want to be treated like royalty, treat her the same way. And then chivalry, chivalry is a thing that a lot of people will say is non-existent nowadays. And I'll admit, I look around, I see things and I'm like, he's not opening her door for her. He hasn't gotten her flowers in 2.5 years or 3 years. He hasn't said she looks beautiful, after she gets her hair done, just small things, because the small things add up, and I know you can attest to this. I'm sure, those small compliments, they matter, because y'all go through hell to make sure y'all look good. It could be for y'all. You say, I want to look good for me. You want to look good for yourself, which is, I applaud that, but that's how you want your man to notice, you want your man of the work that you're putting in, the heel on, the foundation that you're putting on, how it blends perfectly with the concealer. You want the man to notice that. So just the small things like that, communication, chivalry, and respect. Those are the three top things I would teach him. I will teach him, rather.
Now, listening to you talk, and I'm assuming you have a circle of male friends, y'all sit around and, beat on your chest like silverback gorillas and everything. So does everybody have the similar mindset, or you're kind of the...
I'm more so an individual who has separated himself from those who don't think like me. Either they're not at the same level of understanding or perception that I am, or they're at a higher level of it. That's really where I want to be. Either you're thinking like me or you're thinking higher than me. Those are the people I kind of surround myself with now. And it's mainly just like family. So specifically my brother, who's also my business partner who works with me. He follows the same ideologies. He has the same principles and things of that nature. He does the same exact thing. He has his queen, and he operates the same exact way that I do. And I do have some friends as well who are getting there. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's marathon takes a little bit longer, but as long as we keep going and keep moving forward, that's the goal. That's the goal. I used to live by 3 principles. I was integrity, optimism, and perfection. I crossed out perfection, and it's a progression, because nothing's going to be perfect. It doesn't matter. It could be close to perfect, but it's never going to be. I stress myself out sometimes, saying, oh, this isn't perfect. Oh, I didn't get it that way. Or I got a 96 on a test. I used to stress myself out that way. But I just realized that, hey, you're better than you were yesterday. You're better than you were here. You're better than you were 2 years ago, So I really, really just focus on the progression aspect. And that's what I encourage young men to do now. Just, make sure you're progressing towards, getting out of these, monogamous serial dating, well, not monogamous, but the serial dating, ideas, and just buckle down and get serious.
Yeah, I like to tell people that technology has its advantages, but I'm really kind of leery of the whole online dating thing, because I've seen so many people like it's going to the grocery store, like, oh wow, there's like 20 selections of jam here, I don't know what to pick, and it's just overstimulation, and like then you pick one and like I don't know, maybe there's something better over here, so you're like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it's just really, I think a lot of researchers have put work out about the problems of having too many choices, and you never really settle down and pick one and put all your effort into one, which I think we see with relationships now. Now, I want to segue, because I could talk about relationships for a very long time. That's one of my soapbox issues here. But I want to talk about one of your tagline, because it relates to something that happened in media recently. But your tagline is "Dress for where you're going," and I want to relate that to the comedian Monique. Right? She was in the news recently about she put out a video telling sisters, maybe you don't need to be wearing the bonnets and the pajamas in public, right?
Yeah.
And she got a lot of pushback. But my question to you is, your group of men folk that you hang around with, some of the pushback was, if a man likes me, he's not really going to care whether or not I have the bonnet on or whatever. But your particular men group, your peer group, the guys that you know, is it likely that you guys would see a woman out in the store with her bonnet and her pajamas up and say, you know what, I'm going to go holler at her and get her phone number? What's the probability of that?
Slim to none, to be honest. From my perspective, we'll say that, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, the bonnet, because, my queen, she wears a bonnet when she goes to sleep. And that's perfectly fine. But when you're sleeping, you're at home in your bed, those are intimate moments. Just like when a woman is kind of like, naked online, that's like personal, intimate moments. So if you're willing to share those intimate moments just with the world, that's not something that a man of almost any caliber would even accept or even be okay with. I'm all for a woman being herself and, being comfortable in her own skin and things of that nature. That's perfectly fine. But like you said, if she does have a man, she has a man, she's probably not even worried about the outside. So that's probably one reason why she's doing it. But going back to my credo, my motto, what I live by, dress for where you're going. It's dress your mind up. It's dress, professional. It's dress, for where you want to go. If you're where you want to go already, sure, wear the bonnet. Wear the fuzzy slippers. Wear whatever you want. Even with guys, don't get a haircut. Sag your pants. You know what I mean? Like, you're where you want to go, and that's where you feel most comfortable at, then by all means. But if you're not where you want to be in life, then doing those things, you're not going to get there, because you don't have that drive, that ambition, that mindset to get where you're going. It may seem like a small, minute thing, but it's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. So to answer your main question, it's the slim to none, talking to a, if I see her out in that. And plus, to be honest, like, she's probably making a quick rah run. She's in a hurry. She's not gonna be able to stop by and hear me, try to holler at her. She's rush. Not even gonna stop her and bug her. That's just,
I was really surprised at the amount of pushback that Monique got, and it kind of translated to what I was saying to you earlier. Us in the older generation, we're kind of walk this little tightrope, because a lot of times the younger generation, you can't tell us nothing. We're going to do what we want to do. Whereas we grew up listening to our elders. So we feel like we should be able to tap you on the shoulder and say, maybe you want to try it this way. But, there's a lot of can't tell me nothing. So we watch and like, well, how's that working out for you? Huh? Okay. All righty. You're not getting to where you want to get to.
Right. Told you so. Yeah.
So, but let me go on. Let me barrel through, because I only got 30 minutes of your time.
We can even have another conversation. I'm all for it. I love that.
I want to congratulate you. I always want to congratulate my brothers. You have a degree. You have your bachelor in finance and business administration, correct?
Yes.
So let me, and you were also, if I read correctly, you're the first one in your family to complete the
Yeah.
college.
Yes.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So wonderful. I love to hear that. But you got it and said, you know what? I don't want to do this corporate thing and I'm out. Deuces, right?
Well, I worked for a multi-international investment firm for 5 years.
Okay.
So that's what my degree was in.
Okay.
But it wasn't where my passion was. Hence the book, Pivot into Your Passion. My department ended up closing down.
Okay.
At that moment, I made a decision. You know, I could have moved. They offered me a pretty good job in Dallas, Texas. I could have took that role and stuck with it. To make, you know, I had my son, you know, my young king. I didn't want to leave him at such a young age, you know, number one. And then number two, like I said, that's not where my heart was. That's not where my passion was. And even so, getting the degree was just more so a thing for, you know, like I said, bettering myself as a man for my son. And two, it was just for me as well, just wanting to accomplish it, because the way things ended previously 10 years ago for me, it was abrupt and it was a little unfair to me, you know, in my perspective. So I wanted to finish. I wanted to make sure I accomplished that by any means necessary, you know, pandemic or not. I wanted to make sure I got it done, and then pivot into my passion, which is hospitality.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you guys, well, is it your brother? You guys are?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And that is the D&G Hendrix.
Yeah. So DG Hendrix Hospitality. Yes.
Okay. Now, you have a networking mixer on the Boardwalk in Atlantic City. Is that what I read correctly?
Yes. So we partner with the city to connect individuals with other businesses, and then just other individuals as well who are looking to either work in the city, or what we push is to, you know, vision yourself as being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So, you know, we promote our business, like I said, which is DG Hendrix Hospitality. We focus on event curating, food and beverages, and digital marketing. But at the same time, we provide the Boardwalk with a little bit of the Hendrix experience.
Okay.
You know, we have the drinks out there, we have food, and then people come together with music, and we usually do like a business tip of the day. You know, we do a business tip of the day because sometimes we're out there, you know, multiple times throughout the weeks. Normally just Saturdays now, but sometimes we go out there if the spirit moves us to go out there. We go, and it's always turned out to be good.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Now I've been to Atlantic City quite a few times, but it's been some years since I've been there. As a matter of fact, I think the last time I was there was right before the hurricane came through and like devastated everything. But if I recall, the last time, and I only stayed around the Boardwalk, I really didn't see a lot of us in business there on the Boardwalk. Is it now a lot of more Black businesses on the Boardwalk?
No. So that's really what we're trying to push as well, because a lot of the experiences that we have out there are with us. You know, Black entrepreneurs, you know, Black business owners. You know, other businesses come up, you know, that work on the Boardwalk, you know, and they inquire, and they talk to some individuals as well. So people, and they ask, they're like, "How did you get this done?" You know, have to go through. So I literally sit there and I walk them through. You know, I say it's a tedious process. It took us a while to get all the paperwork done, and that's even before we got our LLC and our business license and everything like that. But just getting to where we are, the location, you know, that was a really tedious process. So I really want to push for a lot of more of us to get on to get in business. Number one, because with me, I'll say a reason why I started the business, because people say, "How long you've been in business?" I say a year, because we became official last year, June 7th. But I've been doing this since I was 20. You know, I put people's birthdays together just because. You know, I've bartended people's weddings just because they needed help. You know, I've set up limo rides and party bus rides for people. You know, just because I like people to have a good time. You know, I like to have a good time. So I to blend that and merge that into a business. You know, So like I said, I just want to push more of us to get in business and work together. Not just work for one person, but pull each other up and really help each other out. Because I think that's the problem. With a lot now as entrepreneurs, as business owners. Yeah, we want to get to it ourselves, but we can all get to it together if we just come together and help each other. And that's what we do on the Boardwalk.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, I do want to ask this because when I was reading it, it just seemed so interesting to me. You and your brother, I mean, it's a unique concept. What made the two of you say, we need to go to the Boardwalk?
That's where the money is. If you think about it, Atlantic City is on the way up. Like you said, last time you've been there, it was, the hurricane, it wiped everything out. A lot of casinos were closing down. There was really nothing going on. But there's a lot of open spaces, number one, retail properties, things like that. There's a lot of vacant buildings there. And then two, with Mayor Littles, he pushes for stuff like that. He pushes for business owners and things like that to get into these spaces and to get into these buildings. So, like I said, Atlantic City is on the up and up as far as like financing and money wise and things of that nature. So, if we can get to the root of it, and hopefully we can, dig up the old poisonous root, plant another root and build up right for us. You know what I mean? And apples just start falling, of millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, all over Atlantic City, and then hopefully it trickles down the East Coast and up the East Coast, so that's our goal.
Awesome. I love it. And I was also, I'm hating a little bit because you have your own signature drink, right? The Don Daiquiri.
Yes, the Don Daiquiri.
I was like, I don't drink. I was like, but I want Lana's lemonade or something like that. I was like, okay, I'm hating a little bit. So what's in the Don Daiquiri?
And we also got the Palmer Pina Colada now too. So that's another signature drink that we do have. So it's a mix of trademark ingredients, smoothly blended to your satisfaction and enjoyment. Few different types of Caribbean rums, some pineapple juices. And blended fruits as well. So we blend pineapples in them as well, and some other fruits. And that's in the daiquiri. And then a pina colada is, a pina colada. Okay. Yeah, other trademark ingredients as well.
So we can catch you on the Boardwalk every weekend, or?
Yeah. So this weekend we're actually going to Atlanta for an expo. But next Saturday we will be there 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Doing what we do, servicing the Boardwalk, helping people with business tips and business ideas, connecting beautiful people with beautiful people, connecting businesses with businesses. So like I said, next Saturday, 5 p.m. to 1 p.m. at Brighton Park on Atlantic City.
Okay. So you're writing books, you're event planning. Do you sleep?
Not lately, no. Because what we do is we normally don't go to the Boardwalk when it's a little chilly. Like last year we didn't, but this year we may, because we got better paperwork and more people backing us and things of that nature. So we may go down there during the fall seasons. So sleep may be non-existent then too, because I'm not far from Atlantic City, but I'm a nice drive away. So normally my time is spent there on the road. Okay. Sleep, checking with my son, checking with my queen, family, back to work. So no, it's minimal sleep. I get enough. I get enough sleep though, because you're no good to nobody if you're tired. If you can't function. So I make sure I get the required hours that I need to make sure that I can be a blessing to not only myself but to other people.
Awesome. So I've heard you mention your queen a few times, and you're in event planning. So should I be packing up some wedding gifts and getting ready for the wedding invitation to come, or?
It's been, she's the one. I will say that she is the one. You can pack them up and listen, it won't be right away, obviously. But we know we're in this for the long haul, and I'm not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere. I love her to the moon and back, that is my queen. She's we've known each other for years. But we still treat each other like every day is just brand new. You know, it's just like a brand new love. It's a brand new thing. Every day's like that. So it's only going to get better. And the wedding's coming. It's just, you know, not a set date yet.
Has she told you what it is that she likes about you? I mean, you know what you like about her, but has she ever told you what she likes about you?
She likes when I cook her breakfast.
Oh, a woman out. Food will get me every time too. All right.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's one of many things. But mainly, it's crazy the way we met. It was a business meeting. We met. She needed help with her website. She noticed my website, and she liked it. So she reached out and asked for help. And like doing a Boardwalk, we help people with, you know, business ideas, business proposals, whatever, you know, they may have some questions with. You know, that was the idea of it. And that's what she likes about me. She likes the tech savviness, the drive, the ambition, the innovation, you know, the and the fun too, you know, the fun as well. On top of cooking her breakfast and giving her food.
Awesome. All righty. Well, like I said, this always just goes so fast and everything. Real quick though, real quick, you have a book coming out soon, right? It's available for pre-order.
Yeah. So it's an ebook.
Which one is that one?
It's an ebook. It's Love and Affection. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Love and Affection, rather. It's an ebook. It's a spinoff of my Pivot into Your Passionate Relationship. But it's a little more adult, I'll say. There's more passion into it. Because like I said, Pivot into My Passionate Relationship was more so just affirmations and, you know, ideas that help you pivot into that, out of serial dating into serial monogamy. You know, this one is how to maintain. You know, the passionate relationship was how to obtain your queen. This one will be how to maintain her. If that makes sense. So.
Okay. Serial monogamy. I've been around, you know, like I'm the one girl that's always around the fellas a lot. So I'm in the barbershops. I'm at the domino and spades tables with the guys. And a lot of times I hear the fellas say, we're not supposed to be monogamous. It's not natural.
In some men's culture, well, in some people's culture, rather, that's a thing. You know, it's okay. It's actually pushed for a man to have multiple partners, just to stimulate certain parts of the divine masculine. You know, which if that's your culture, hey, you can't touch that. You know, that's your belief. You know, that's fine. But for guys that are just doing it because it's trendy, I don't support that. You know, it's a trend. You know, you want to be cool. You want to be the man. You want people to see you like that. You know, like that's not for everybody. You know, it's not for everybody. You know, mentally, emotionally, and financially, it's not for everybody. You know, you know, a lot of guys, they do have their wives and then they have their girlfriends. You know, and I've never been a big person of that. Like ever since I've, you know, made that pivot into myself now. But yeah, a lot of guys will say that, and you know, that's how they're gonna be. You know what I mean? And are they single? Are those guys single?
True.
Yeah.
Are they happy? Are they happy?
Yeah, or are they happily in a relationship? That's the problem. I mean, because a lot of guys, they get into these relationships for the wrong reasons. They get into it for the physical aspect, or they get into it for the fun. You know, they get into it because it was cool at the moment. You know, but is it sustainable? You know, like, yeah, they're fun, you know, they're attractive, you know, but what are their morals? What are their values?
Long-term goals. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said at the top, you know, we're done playing house. We're trying to build homes.
Yes, we're trying to create. We have little ones. We need legacy. We need to build generational wealth for our grandkids and stuff like that. And you can't do that jumping in and out of everybody's bed and everything like that. You just can't do it.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Hendrix, I have ran out of time. We could go on about this for a long time, but I'm gonna do my random question here. Sure. Let me see if I got everything here. At least I want. Well, hey, we might just have to come back and do this again.
We'll have
Let me see here. What we got? If you won $1 million, what would you buy first?
I won $1 million.
What y'all got up in Jersey? Y'all got the lottery up there in Jersey?
we got the. I don't really gamble much though. I don't gamble. The only gambling I did do was like sports. I I kind of slowed down with that too. But if I won $1 million, I wouldn't really buy anything first. I'd probably invest it. I would try to invest it because money is definitely a doubles game.
Mhm.
You know, I would try to turn that million into two. You know, I would get my mom something nice though. I'll get my mom something nice. You know, maybe that car she's always wanted or something along those lines. But I would definitely invest it into some type of account or, you know, something like that. It would be invested. It would be invested.
I would expect no less from a finance major, I guess. Oh, well. Oh, well. Well, dear, you tell your mother she did an awesome and amazing job with you. Just, I'm so proud for her. Just kudos.
I'll show her the conversation. Whenever it goes up, I'll show it to her. And she supports me through thick and thin. Whatever I start to get into, whatever lane I go through, she pushes me. She got me up. You know, for whatever lane is gonna take you to where you want to go, I'm there. So she'll love this. She'll love this.
Oh, awesome. I love it. Well, Mr. Hendrix, you please tell us how we pick up the books, how if we want to visit and pick up a Don daiquiri, if we want you to organize an event for it, just tell us how we get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So on this platform, well, not Zoom, but Instagram, it's Call Me Don Hendrix, spelled as it sounds. On Twitter, it's Call Me Don Hendrix without the I at the end. You can pick up the books on my website, donhendrix.com, and on amazon.com as well. And then on Facebook, it's DG Hendrix the Business. You can book an event there, or you can book it on Instagram as well at DG Hendrix the Business as well.
Awesome. Love it. And you keep me in mind. You send me a wedding invitation. I'll come sit in the back. And I'll remember when.
We're going to stay connected for sure. This is not the last time you hear from me.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I just love everything you're doing. I love the energy. I love the focus. I love the drive. I love the just woohoo. I love it all. I love it all.
The moment you reached out, I said, absolutely. I want to have a conversation with her. I love what you're doing as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, that is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.
Bye-bye, guys.